Okay, so it's day 64 of being housed, and it is, oh goodness, it is Saturday, October I believe it's the 18th. It's definitely the 18th. Last week was the 11th, so there we go. 11 plus 7, 18. We're in business. Okay. And you're welcome for that keen display of what is it? Arithmetic or addition. So anyway, the whole purpose though of I was just thinking, I was just having a tea at a coffee shop and playing some Wordle, and I got the word. No, I didn't get either the Wordle word of the day or the connection. Any of the connections, I did rather terribly, and but anyways, I was just thinking, I'm going to be walking downtown, and there's just so many things that go through my mind. I'm certain that many things that go through your mind at every moment. And I was thinking, it's important though that I keep everything focused on the main focus. And the main focus is, in these videos is I went through homelessness, and I'm, thankfully at the next step, which is getting a job, which is, first being housed, then getting a job, and although the job is just part-time right now, it's good because it's on my resume. Oh goodness, I can have recent references, and it's a wonderful. I enjoy what I'm doing, and it's wonderful all around. But I'm going to need more finances to afford my own place, and so that I can continue on from there. Then that's pretty much the that's the target, or the targeted goal when I was on the cusp of homelessness, or going through a period or season of homelessness. But also too, I want to bring to light some of the things and some of the variables that might remain hidden or obscured, and just to add more information. And I find one of the biggest weapons against stigmas, or against concrete assertions or biases or prejudices, is just proper information, and information that is that comes from a contrary perspective. And so that is one of the main things that I desire to do. And so right now, the main points of these initial videos, or the main point of these initial videos, I'm sorry, I'm really struggling to keep my thoughts clear right now, but I'm just about to go down the downtown core of this community, and for obvious reasons, I'm not going to record anything, but I can talk about what I see. But there's a lot of I was just talking with a young man yesterday, and he was just talking about different places that he slept, and I said, is it not really cold for you? And he's like, oh yeah, it's very cold. And he was talking about how he was very teary-eyed, and just because you're shivering the whole night, and and I think this information it's very pertinent. It's very good to get out. Right now, it's actually very comfortable, the weather, but within 24 hours, you just never know. It could be extremely cold. So here, I'm just looking at one of the municipal buildings, and I see somebody sleeping out front of that municipal building right now. In the park, I don't see anyone, but I find oftentimes when people are sleeping in this park, they find spots where they're hidden behind bushes, or they're not out in the open. The little bit of exposure though that I had to being unhoused, and that was goodness, I think it's entitled homelessness. I think day 0, day 1, day 2, day 3. I just seen day 9 in my YouTube archive there, or inventory. But one of the main things I noted was the fear or the reality of here. And I gotta flip this. I realize my phone's upside down. Okay, it's the reality of going into survival mode. And so to explain this to folks that have never been unhoused and or homeless, or have never even faced like a crisis where that was a potential for them, and by a potential I mean like a realistic potential right before them, or just a potential in their mind, or a possibility in their mind. Survival mode, the way I would describe it would be where you're just like, you don't have all your mind, all your energy, all your resources are going to and towards surviving to make it through to the next day. So it's you can see even just from talking about it from that perspective, you can see that it's cyclical to begin with. So like that pattern, or that circular pattern, it's right there at the onset of it. So that's all you're thinking. That's all you would be thinking of is, I need rest. Where can I get rest? I need good quality rest, which means I need to be in a safe place. It's, like you don't realize, or I would never realize, or I didn't realize while I'm housed, just how dangerous the elements are. So I think anyone who's like a nature enthusiast, or like a camper, or I see there's a lot of folks they like to just to be out in nature and to pitch a tent up here or there for a day or two. They understand like how dangerous the elements can be, and how you have to actually really be prepared. Like it's when things come upon you, they come upon you quickly. And food, not having something I didn't think of before, which I did think about afterwards, is just the availability of food. So when you have a fridge and a freezer and a stove and a microwave, and you're just able to just go and grab a meal or a snack at your leisure, or if you have money in your bank, you're able to go to a restaurant and grab a food or a snack at your leisure. You don't realize like if you lack those things, just how difficult it would be for you. Like right now the weather's much better, but in a really hot summer day, or during a hot summer day, it'd be hard to store things for later, because they will soil, and also there's theft and everything that can happen. And so your ability to acquire food and healthy food, it's decreased. So then you're in a survival mode where you're always looking to get food, and to it's not about eating healthy, it's about eating what's available, or what's going to curb the appetite and then in that moment. And I found like that one of the other major thoughts that I had was just having nowhere really to go. So if you're there's something to be said. I think of the last place I lived when I was in the big city. I delighted. I was very aware, very thankful, very grateful, and I really delighted in getting home to my private place that was secure, that was comfortable, and where I could just recharge. Oh my goodness, recharging is something you don't realize how the importance of until you lack it. And it'd be similar to somebody who's always around people that are very uncomfortable in their own skins. They're always talking for the sake of talking. It's draining. It's extremely draining. And but there's something to be said about just being at peace in your own comfortable surroundings and recharging, whether you're just focused on, maybe doing a jigsaw puzzle, maybe you're reading a book, maybe you're writing, whatever you're doing, but it's relaxed, like leisure time. So that's something that seems to be lost, because even if you find like a nice, quiet, safe place, say at like a park, it's still not like your home. It's still not like your apartment, because you don't have access to, like, having access to toiletries is very important, and but also having access to just whether it be food or information or even just a comfortable place to entertain, like all of those things really add to your ability to recharge. And then lastly, just overall safety. And I feel like I might have went circular there for a moment. My apologies. I just got distracted. I actually just seen somebody under some covers, just like literally on the sidewalk, and goodness, it's rather bad. And anyway, so safety is really important, and safety transcends the physical, and it crosses over the threshold to like the psychological and the emotional and the spiritual. It goes rather deep, and it's more comprehensive than I think we'd ever imagine. And so that is also something that I notice is I'm looking at the gym right now. I see the lights are on, so there's some early morning workouters, and that's probably not a word, but I'm just going to use that word for the time being, folks at the gym. But anyways, safety is like right now, the place where I'm at, I don't feel welcome. It's hostile, but it's a completely different ball game than being unhoused, and constantly just looking for places and spaces where you feel safe and where you can relax or exhale. And then if you just think about it, maybe when I think about it, just even a little bit from that perspective, I realized, when somebody's looking for that, they're in a heightened state of desperation, which means they're in a more vulnerable state. Meaning that they're compromised in their ability to make proper and sound and sensible decisions, because their decisions are based and they're going to be pulled from a counsel or a faculty of desperation. And everybody knows, like say if you have to use the bathroom quickly and it's alert status red, your ability to make sound choices when you have a very pressing matter at hand, it's decreased substantially, and you'd have to take care of that, the imminent need first, and then you move forward to to examining the variables or the opportunities before you. Oh goodness, you can see how it would make folks who are homeless and unhoused targets for, like, to be solicited. And this happens like when people are impoverished. It can make you a major target by people who have more money than you do. They can solicit things from you simply because you're in a state of desperation. And so there's a lot of things to consider, a lot of things to examine, a lot of variables to uncover. And I found I honestly didn't even think in any of these directions before I was, I went through a period of being unhoused myself. Before that, it was just something that would never happen to me because I don't know. I just um, uh, yeah. It just never crossed my mind. It was something I was never really exposed to, and now that I've experienced it, even just to a shallow or a limited um, scope or experience, I realize just how you know just how dangerous it could be, and just how I'm going to use the word convoluted. Like it's more complex than I think people could realize, and I find that might be one of uh, the major catalysts for many stigmas. Is you know it's something that you'd have to, just like everything, once you go through it yourself, then you have a different perspective, a more accurate perspective to the actuality as opposed to your opinion of it. And then you can also have different levels of sensitivity because you're saying, oh well, you should just do this and this, like A, B, C, D, and E. But then when you're going through it, you realize, oh goodness, there's a lot more to it than just doing A, B, C, D, and E, and there's many more variables, many more barriers. But there's also too, when you're part of the vulnerable population, you actually get treated differently. You don't get treated the same way as you do when you're not part of the vulnerable population. And I think one of the easiest the easiest ways to describe this or explain this would be, um, it's the same thing with, when a male looks at a female and says, oh, yeah, I would just do this, this, and this. But they don't take into consideration the major and the most obvious variable that, you know, females and males get treated differently. And same with the female looking at the male and be like, oh, you should have just done this and this and this. But she might not realize that the way she's treated in those situations is drastically different than the way he's treated in those situations. So her advice is not as sound and not as realistic as she might be convinced that it is. So I find this is one of the major points to learning is it's better to experience the thing that you're giving advice to, and then you can give proper advice. And if it looks like I'm pregnant here, I got my laptop bag with me, but then you can give proper advice, sound advice, educated advice, and advice that is much more helpful. And but it's yeah, it's I think I'm gonna go in the gym here.